Hey guys, and welcome to a battle between Papa Palpatine, in charge of the forces of the Lizardmen, up against Legion and his Legion of Skaven. Should be a good, fun game. And I'm back from holiday, guys. I was away last week, so I will be getting back to all your comments and all that good stuff in due course, as well as starting up with some tournaments once again. And before we get this battle underway, I would just like to say a massive thank you to you guys. I got home to realise we had hit 800 subscribers, which is pretty damn awesome. So this should be a good game to celebrate. Hopefully, if it does go well for the children of the old ones. So for the forces of Papa Palpatine here, he does have double skink skirmishers over here on the left-hand flank. These guys, relatively cheap. They're not anywhere near as good as chameleon skinks, but against Skaven, where you want to go wide, these guys can certainly do a decent job. For his front battle line, we do have skink cohorts with javelins, mixing with the cohort of Sotek, regiment renowned red-crested skinks, and Saurus warriors galore. These guys will tear through Skaven light infantry very, very efficiently. Some red crested mix in here as well, just to bring those great axes and armor piercing to the table as well. I like the use of the skink skirmishers with their javelins on the right hand flank here. Should be able to get around and pressure nicely. In the centre pocket, it looks like he does have double croc squat as well. These guys are chevroned up, so pretty hefty investment in these guys. They can certainly do a decent job pushing through the enemy line. Now, the one weakness of these guys, of course, they're big, nasty dinosaurs. They are quite likely to get shot. However, there is a very nasty skink priest of beasts here, coming with Manticore, Summon, and Flock of Doom, who's probably going to be the main focal point for the enemy to target. They really want to get this guy off the field as quickly as possible. That should hopefully allow the croc squad to get in there and kind of overwhelm the enemy with, decent damage all round. Looks like we have Krokgar on a horned one as well, riding dirty with the Hand of the Gods, an incredibly powerful ability. Looks like he's also bringing Sacred Spawn in, as well as Swiftness of Itzel, but the Hand of the Gods can pretty much two-shot Lord Skrulk, I believe. So if he can get in the right place, he can certainly do some decent damage. Always sad, though, to see Krokgar not on top of the mighty Grimlock. We do have the Pohawks Sentinels in the distance as well, regiment around Terran Rise with a nasty rock drop. Now for the forces of Skaven, it's kind of, a relatively standard build for them. Tons of cheap and cheerful Skaven slaves and clan rats in the front and secondary lines here, just to try and hold back the enemy as long as possible. Do have double rat ogres. These guys are to countercharge large enemy threats and just bog down the enemy and protect that back line. So 2 units of those guys, always a good sight to see. In this centre pocket, he does have a Hellpit Abomination who will mulch through Saurus with absolutely no trouble. Can be a real terror in the night and go toe-to-toe with those big angry dinosaurs. There's a Plague Priest on top of his awesome Plague Furnace, which is always such a cool model, as well as a Lord Skrulk, the Lord of Pestilence himself, looking at particularly disgusting today, coming in with the Liber Bubonicus, as well as Rod of Corruption, so all kind of stuff you'd expect. But again, only has 3,500 HP and 30 armour. You hit him with a Hand of the Gods and he will get hit hard. Looks like we have some Warplock Jezzails as well as the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters, Regiment of Renown version, which also have Stalk, which is particularly useful, and the Council Guard, Regiment of Renowned Storm Vermin with Hellbirds. And I can never stress just enough, really, how important an unbreakable unit is in the forces of Skaven. It looks like the first Hand of the Gods is going down here, so let's track it and see where it does indeed go. Smacks that assassin straight in the face then, breaks him off the field straight away, it looks like. No, he's just about going to recover here, but down to 1,300 HP off the bat, showing how powerful Krokgar can be when used effectively here. Skink skirmishers are going to be falling back for some Skaven slaves. They're kind of wasting shots into these guys, but at the same time, it's tit for tat. Just a little bit of damage on both sides here. And it looks like the Skink Priest of Beast has moved up here, up to 3 kills. He's going to be focused firing down those Warplock Jezzails, but the Lizardmen force certainly want to get under away. Double Warplock Jezzails can do a huge number of work on top of the Skink Priest of Beast, and you don't want to lose that magical element either, so certainly want to push forward as much as possible. Pohawk Sentinels are riding in the distance there. Coming into the back line, should be able to hop on top of the Natty Bobus and do some decent work, and if you can catch them now when they're blobbed up on top of the Council Guard, this is going to be some disgusting value. Oh, it looks like they're just about going to disengage from their own troops, and he's going to be lining up the perfect rock drop here, I would assume. Looks like he's actually going to be swooping over to the Warplock Jezzails here and driving them forward. Looks like these guys are on skirmish mode, so he definitely needs to take those guys off there and allow them to continue to shoot and just protect with the Council Guard where possible. They're going to do their mighty drops. There we go. Massive rock drop coming in, doing decent damage to the Council Guard as well as Natty Bobu Sharpshooters, but they were on the move and their formation was rather dotted apart there, so they didn't take too much damage, but still up to 2 kills and some decent HP damage all round. That's Skink Priest certainly getting the worst of this trade right now, though, and these forces certainly want to start to move up and engage. Krokgar is now taking shots as well. Over on the other flank, looks like Skink Skirmishers did just pepper down those Skaven slaves, but nice diligent play coming in by the Skaven player, trying to hold his formation, pulling those guys back. as the Warplock Giselles do turn to start doing some pretty decent damage on top of the Pohawk's Sentinels. But both the Giselles have taken a bit of damage, it's not too bad here, and the Skink Priest is up to 16 kills here. He's really starting to pick these guys apart. So if we do look at their range here, coming in 275 up against a whopping 360, so good play pulling him back here. There's nothing which can threaten. Now the frontline engagement has gotten underway. A nice summon of Plague Monks has popped up, will help tear through these Saurus Warriors. But everywhere else, cohort of Sotek, Kroxagor, all the Lizardmen goodies are coming in here and battering down these Skaven slaves. These Kroxagors are completely unscathed so far. Of course, all the damage going in to the nasty Skink Priest, as well as Kroxagor as predicted. And these guys will certainly be able to munch through. Rathogers have been chucked in there as a countermeasure, however, but with the Skink Skirmisher support, Kroxagors should do really decent overall. In the back lines, cohort of Sotek have forced their way through, trying to hop on top of the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters. Looks like they have been pulled down though by the Plague Priest, as well as the Clarence getting a nice surround on those guys. Poor guy's going in, gloriously charging into Lord Skrog, but does unfortunately knock him down, so he's not going to be taking too much damage. And the Assassin is here as well to counter, and they can do some pretty good burst damage on top of Kroxagor, who is hit with Assassin's Trophy, as well as Rival Hide Talisman. Does just about manage to fall out there before it looks like his summon was going down in an attempt to pin him in. So really nice play, getting him out of range just about in time there. Looks like up in the high ground, the Hell Pit Abomination has overextended quite a bit here. It's not really been supported. There are some clan rats who have just appeared on the field, but these javelins are going in, as well as Kroxagor circle beating this Hell Pit Abomination down, absolutely curb stomping him here, and should be able to do some really decent damage. Although, you know, he as well should be able to go tit for tat with them relatively effectively here. Over on the side, it looks like Kroxagor has bounced around, trying to escape this death blob of heroes and lords, just doing some decent damage to some rat ogres before falling away once more. Of course, he does come with that anti-large, and Kroxagor doing very good in this battle so far. Cohort of Sotek trying to push through the centre pocket. Looks like they're actually standing still here. They've just about got moving again. And yeah, they need to shut down these sharp shooters. Although their ammunition is starting to run a little dry, I suppose, about half on both units. And they are getting picked apart as well by the big dinosaur in the distance. So really even game so far. Looks like Skaven have just about started to take the lead. But up here on the high ground, it looks like the Hell Pit Abomination is completely surrounded now by a mixture of Kroxagor, Skink cohorts, and Saurus Warriors. And they are very, very tough troops indeed. Should be able to slowly drag him down with sheer attrition here. Red Crested Skinks as well, looks like they are falling back. The Skink Priest up to 50 kills now of that Great Bow, doing some very impressive work indeed. The Assassin is trying to charge over Kroxagor here. Now, if I was Kroxagor, I'd actually turn and engage this. A lone Assassin is a deadly threat, but so is Kroxagor. Sacred Spawning has gone down here, making him very resilient here. And the Assassin, of course, has used his trophy heads, as well as that Rival Hide Talisman. And he's being dragged down here, down to 615 health. And yeah, Kroxagor's simply going to be too much for him. But there is some retaliating long-range fire coming in by the 5 remaining Natty Bobu Sharpshooters. In comes the big Skink Priest as well, riding dirty on top of this mighty beast, flinging that Skaven's assassin miles and killing him in the act. Coming in and stealing Kroxagor's kill here. Now over on the left-hand side, it looks like the Lizardmen start to run out a bit of steam. Cohort of Sotek down to 8 models. These Kroxagor as well are starting to rampage. There's a nice pocket of strength here for these Skaven, but they are being wasted a little bit, chasing Skink Skirmishers. Now there has been a Manticore summon going down, the first of the game. There should be a ton of Winds of Magic left on this Skink Priest here coming into the late stages, and Manticore summons very powerful there to help him tip the balance of power. Looks like it has just about gone even. Kroxagor goes for a dodgy, very risky assault here into the Council Guard, who of course are anti-large themselves. Does drop his nice little damage burst as well, but down to just 558 health. Certainly wants to get his last Hand of the Gods off before he does disappear here. Some nice juking though, back and forth to try and keep him alive, and a Hand of the Gods does go into the Hell Pit Abomination, actually routing it here as well. A massive smack there. It seems to go over the top, but still somehow connects maybe on some of these back pipes, and Kroxagor is going to feast tonight, bringing Grimlock home the supper here. Looks like some Skaven Slave Spears do spawn from the belly of the beast, but Kroxagor up to 237 health here is probably going to go down in the later stages of this battle, but at the same time he certainly paid his dues. Manticore in the back line is shredding at these Warplock Giselles. They're certainly going to be able to rout off, but Manticore will disappear in time. In the back lines, Cohort of Sotek, all 6 of them do manage to shatter the Natty Bobu Sharpshooters, but they are themselves being chased off by Lord Skrog here. And it looks like the Lizardmen should be able to gain the advantage here. They're going to be trying to surround the Plague Priest over here and isolate it, and the Skaven forces are in disarray at the moment, as Lord Skrog is far too far away from his main force at the moment. King Priest, Plague Priest, sorry, trying to go strong, up to 63 kills. There's certainly no slouch in combat here. And where's Crockguard? Looks like he is just about alive, hanging on in there with the 232 hit points. But the Council Guard are being isolated in this pocket over here. And yes, they're good versus large, but when they're against so many troops, the Crockscore as well as the Skink Priest, they will certainly, still get beaten down. They are just rats at the end of the day. 22 models left. These guys, of course, are unbreakable, so will fight to the death. However, the battle certainly seemed to swing very quickly there on the drop of a dime into the favour of the Lizardmen forces. Crockguard, cold-blooded, trying to keep him alive and in the action, and he will be able to do some pretty decent damage here. He's got to be a little bit careful that he doesn't get assassinated. He does pop in to get some nice side attacks here into the Plague Priest. Crockscore not doing too bad here. Only 4 models left, I believe. Let's have a little look. If I can get hold of these guys. Only 3 of these guys left, unfortunately. It looks like they are just about going to be able to do enough here alongside their lord. Look at all those massive buffs on top of Crockguard, making him an absolute world beater. And he may indeed be able to survive this battle, yet it looks like it is Lord Stroke versus the world. Army loss is set in as a very professional play here. When you get to the late stages, if you have a Feral Man score still active, simply pop him to push the balance power over the edge and, finish off the game nice and early. So very well played to both players. Let's go do a tiny bit of analysis. So yeah, thank you to Papa Palpatine for sending this in via my Discord and representing Clan DBD, of course, up against Legion, who did a fantastic game as well. Really interesting builds all round. I'm a big fan of this Lizardman build in particular. The double Crockscores seem like a risky pick, I think, by some, at least up against Skaven. There's so many troops that can take them down, as far as Rattling Gunners and the Jezzails. But of course, if you're coming in with a Skink Priest on top of the Mighty Dinosaur and its huge crossbow, that has to be the priority for the Skaven. Otherwise, as you can see, 74 kills, and a lot of them done at range, actually. Really managed to neuter the potential of these 2 units. Despite that, they still got some okay damage on top of Crockguard, of course, and a little bit on top of the Skink Priest as well. But yeah, really impressed with this. Crockguard is very good in this matchup, simply because of Hand of the Gods. You saw how much damage it did to that assassin at the start of the battle, and helped finish off the Hell Pit in the late stages as well. Seeing him on a Horned one is pretty damn cool, as you don't get to see it too often, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for Grimlock, so a little bit sad there at the end of the day. But anyway, guys, hope you did enjoy. If you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel, as we do start to make the journey to 1,000 subscribers. And feel free to like, comment, and all that good stuff. If you want to get involved in my Discord community, which will allow you to play on the channel, get replays on the channel, play in tournaments, all that good stuff, there should be a link just down below in the description. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.